since we're talking about Ganesh Chaturthi itself, which is a very special day. Because, so the thing about this festival is, no, across the country, it involves people of all ages. So in the south, there is an additional practice that on this day, 21 kinds of leaves must be offered to Ganesha. So I know as kids how much, we would, the days leading up to the festival are basically meant to forage those leaves. Oh, yahan pe to pomegranate hai, let's take pomegranate and go. Okay, yahan pe ye hai. So because those 21 things are not easily accessible. So what happens is it becomes a group activity because everybody has a different strength. Some trees are difficult to climb. So young boys will go quickly and be able to get that. Some people are more artistic. They'll be happier to make the idol. Some people are good at just, in the family are good at just arranging everything and making sure everything is there. Essentially what it does is, in some way, it connects you to that activity. We have somewhere lost this notion and we believe puja is only that time that we are sitting there in front. No, puja is everything that you do leading up to that. From the time that your thoughts are going in that direction, oh, अगले हफ्ते को गणेश चतुर्थी है, क्या करना है मुझे, ये करना, all that is also puja. As long as you're doing it happily. If you're doing it with stress, it doesn't count. But if you're doing it happily, everything that you do, irrespective of the complexity, irrespective of the simplicity, he'll accept it. And that's essentially Ganesha's philosophy. Because he is such a responsive God because he responds to love. And that love, you can show him by doing the simplest of pujas, you can show him by doing an elaborate puja. But the objective is, who are you showing it to, him or the world? In today's world, it's also become a lot about, the jazz and the glitz of it, saying, okay, whose Instagram Ganapati is louder, yours or mine? And then simple essences get lost. The more you personalize your puja, that's why I would recommend making a Ganapati rather than buying, let's say, a painted version of it, because we're losing the essence when we do this. We're losing the idea that we can only connect to God taking help from nature.
Is there a set of rules listed out anywhere?
Oh, yeah. For this?
Yeah.
With respect to making Ganesha?
Yes.
Absolutely. So, you will see that the overall vidhanam, the paddhati, the methodology varies from state to state, place to place, because there are multiple texts that talk about it. But essentially, the guidelines are a few. One, keep your focus on him. So don't allow your mind to get diverted. See, the thing about rules, is that because rules were given as a set of guidelines to keep focus intact. But what happens was, or rather what has happened in the course of time is people have forgotten the reason behind the rule and they focused on the rule alone. So when you do that, it becomes a point of stress that, I have to follow this rule. Guidelines are necessary, saying, yes, you remain clean, make sure you bathe, go find a place where you can get natural clay from, sit yourself and make that. What happens with these kind of things is you ensure that your focus is not diverted. The rules are varying based on customs, based on regional customs, but also varying on the energy of the devata. So for example, none of these are hard and fast rules that you must, but many of them are very beautiful customs. For example, there is one custom that says when you're worshipping Ganesha, particularly on Ganesh Chaturthi, you should wear red, because in Kailasa, in the mountain where he lives with his parents, Gauri, his mother, is always wearing red. So if somebody is sitting in front of him and wearing red, this boy will only remember his mother and he'll look upon the worshipper as his own mother. So you're again establishing your own relationship with him. So this is not a rule and hard and fast thing that it has to be followed. But when you do it, when you are wearing red, you'll say, oh, okay, so I'm feeling like Ganesha's mother now. So your own bond comes into the question, right? These are the kind of things that were encouraged. So for example, Ganesha is most fond of durva, grass that grows on the roadside. It's not a complicated thing that you need to climb a mountain to only get in 1 month of the year. No, get it practically everywhere it rains and it's growing haphazardly everywhere. This is all it takes. It takes literally close to nothing to make him respond. But all he requires, I think, of course, that is sans devatas. It really is across any devata. They're not asking for anything but our time. And if you give them that, the way they respond, one day, if you can devote to Ganapati with sincerity, you'll see the effects of it year round. The remaining 364 days, whether you know it or you don't know it, that energy will be backing you. Saying, no, I remember how you gave me that day. I'm with you on this day.
Time fueled by love.
Beautiful. I like that equation. Yeah, time fueled by love.
It has to be from a place of love.
Yes.
Not from a place of, oh man, I gotta give it time.
Yeah. And no fear. With him, that's the best part. See, there are many forms of Ganesha. Okay, and some forms require intense worship. So, for example, there is a form called Uchishta Ganapati. This is a Tantric Ganapati. Now, you may or may not know about it. That form has its effects. You worship this simple form of clay that you have yourself created with your own hands. If it needs to, it will take that intense form to come and protect you. That Ganesha there are 32 forms of Ganesha as per Shastra. Those 32 forms, which form is required when in my life, I won't know. Ganapati will know. But this little mound of clay will take all that because divinity has flown into it. And look at the process that we do. You make this, you worship him, and you have to dissolve him. The thing about mud idols is any form that you worship with mud, whether it is Ganesha or Durga, you see this even in Durga Puja, you can't say I'll reuse it next year. You can do that with silver, you can do that with gold, you can do that with brass, you can do that with other materials, you can't do it with clay. Why? People have ascribed this saying, just like how the human body comes from the soil and goes back to the soil, it's the same process. No. But our ancestors didn't say, leave the idol in the soil. They specifically said, and the Puranas and multiple texts, Dharma Shastras say, dissolve it. Why dissolution? Because this is part of a larger process. The first amongst the 5 elements is the element of earth. From earth, the objective is, within the human body also these 5 elements are there. The earth element dissolves into water. This you can see in nature as well. Water is subtly present in fire. Fire is subtly present in the air. The air is subtly present in space. The idea is to dissolve one after the other. This is a yogic practice. This may or may not be possible on an internal level for everybody without the awareness. Rishi said, don't worry. You want to achieve the same effects of that. You do this external process. Create something out of mud, dissolve it in water. And then from the element of water, it will go forward into fire, into Vayu, into Akasha. Somewhere your puja is connecting the Panchabhutas.